It was, predictably enough, in a pub opposite the EU headquarters where Nigel Farage debriefed the media. A significant number of us also predictable had gathered to hear the outcome of what was, on the face of it, an unusual meeting. Mr Farage had spent the previous 45 minutes inside the nerve centre of the European Union, the organisation he's spent decades trying to destroy, meeting a man for whom the EU is a fundamental force for good, Michel Barnier, the bloc's Brexit negotiator. He'd written to Mr Barnier back in October requesting the meeting. As you appear to be conducting a series of meetings with UK political figures on the issue of Brexit, I wish to make a request, he wrote. It seems that you are listening to a group of people who want to stop or delay Brexit. I will come to speak for the 17.4 million who did not vote for a transition deal or any further delays and whose resolve is getting stronger. Farage meets Barnier. Brexit talks will continue to be difficult. Mr Farage was worried that Mr Barnier was hearing only one side of the Brexit story, and it wasn't the Brexit side. Meetings with high-profile Remainers like Nick Clegg, Andrew Adonis, Ken Clarke and others helped to push that fear. In truth, Mr Barnier does meet people and hear the views of people on both sides of the Brexit divide, not least his opposite number David Davis, the Brexit secretary and a firm Brexiteer. Still, the meeting was duly granted at the start of a week when Mr Barnier will also meet other Brexiteers including Stephen Wolfe MEP formerly of UKIP, now Independent, Lord Digby Jones former director of the CBI, John Mills chair of Labour Leave and John Longworth co-chair of Leave Means Leave. It was off camera and Mr Farage said no photos were taken. So, how did it go? I always said he would be very civil and indeed he was very civil. Coffee was offered which I thought was very nice, said a beaming, trilby sporting Mr Farage, as he emerged from the meeting. I genuinely don't think he understands why people voted for Brexit. I really don't think he gets it. When I suggested to him that it might be something to do with open-door immigration from within the EU, he almost looked at me with incredulity as if to say, well, surely wasn't it outside the EU migration that was the issue? He didn't understand that. Was it a fruitful meeting? I asked him. Well, I genuinely thought that the views of the 17.4 meters had not been expressed before to Mr Barnier, and the meeting confirmed that. Yes, he said. I don't think anybody has been to see him to really make that point that immigration was front and center of that campaign. It was what motivated millions of people who don't normally vote to go out in the referendum. And basically, where have we got to in terms of our debate? Our negotiations, I'll tell you, nowhere. Mr Farage continued. I asked him, who do you represent? Do you represent Brussels? Do you represent these glass and steel structures? Do you represent the people here, 10,000 people here earning more than the British Prime Minister with pensions and all the rest of it? Is that what you represent, or do you represent the workers in the member states? Of course, he said, they are both the same thing. I am not so sure they are. A German reporter snapped back, who do you represent then? What are you doing? Well, I am trying to represent the view of those who voted Brexit because it's not really being heard. We didn't vote for transition deals. We didn't vote to sort of kick this into the long grass so that it's at least going to be 6 years.